coming, Brent. It's coming. There you go.
All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, hope everybody's had a good week. Mine has been, I kicked off the week a little bit like, whoo, but now I'm kind of catching my breath. I got my wind back and I'm like, all right, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So, happy Thursday to you. And, just want to give a couple of people some shout outs on our coaches corner. That's, you guys are all our family. And so just want to, there's a couple of people out there that's had maybe some loved ones that's had surgery or having surgery, or people's had some deaths in the family and things like that. Here's what we want to say to you. Our prayers go up, really truly do. And we pray for you and your family and all of that. We love you. We appreciate you and we're grateful for you. And I really appreciate this group getting on every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central. And so our word for today, I told you we were going to pivot after we talked about change or choices, and I said we're also going to talk about being judgmental. Okay. Andrea, can you hear me okay?
You sound loud and clear.
I'm on the road, so I'm actually, in my background doesn't say that, but I'm on the road. So hope my Wi-Fi, my signal holds up. So the word's judgmental. And I want you to think about this as we talk about this. And for me, I know that I have to battle as a human being judgmental, right? As I could point like 5 fingers back at me at all times. Well, here's the deal. Like I can point it back, but I can also catch myself like pointing it forward and being judgmental of others. If you look at the definition, it's characterized by a tendency to judge harshly. And out of all the quotes, one of my favorite with this is Earl Nightingale. How many of you have listened to Earl Nightingale in your life? Probably a lot of you have. But he says, when you judge others, you do not define them, you define yourself. And, that really hits home to me because I know I can get caught up in being judgmental. So my part and Andrea's part is going to tag team this right today. But how are you judgmental, or how am I judgmental? Here's 9 ways to tell. So if you're sitting there going, I am not a judgmental person. Well, guess what? I'm about to give you 9 ways to dissect yourself, just like I did this morning. And I might have some bruises on my toes. So number 1, here's a way you can tell if you're judgmental. You believe that everyone is out to get you. So are you a person that's like, I think they got a plan. They're after me, Number 2, you expect other people to be consistent all the time. Why can't they just go to work, do what they're supposed to do? Or number 3, you struggle to see beyond a person's flaws. How many of us have walked around and see other people doing things? We're like, right? And we're going, man, I'm judging your flaws, but I could probably point 5 flaws back to myself, but I choose not to do that. Number 4, you easily skip to conclusions. Somebody says something to you or somebody does something, you're easy to skip across to the conclusion of why they did it, right? Maybe you're a conspiracy theorist, right? You're coming up with a conclusion all the time. Number 6, I'm sorry, I think it's number 5. You're intolerant of people unlike you. So if they're not like you, if they don't, Billy Grady, If they don't like to run marathons, you ain't having none of it. If they're not an entrepreneur, what's wrong with them? You know, in my profession, it drives me nuts. Like when people talk to people and they go, "Are you crazy? You've got a boss?" And I'm like, do you think you're winning people over by saying that? Like, no, don't tell people that, because just because they're not like you doesn't mean they're crazy. But is that the way we think? Here's the next one. You're generally pessimistic about life. So you wake up and go, well, it's cloudy again. It's cold again. Like, are you pessimistic about life? Another one is you feel anxious around other people. How many of you feel like you're in a room full of rocking chairs and you're the cat when you're around people? You're like skittish, you know? You're suspicious and untrusting. Just takes me a long time to trust someone, you know? Are you that type person? And then the last is you have a strong inner critic who judges yourself. So are you somebody that's like, I'm not deserving to be here. I'm not deserving to be at the title I'm at. Maybe you're the person that goes, I'm in the gym, but I'm just not, my body structure is not like that next person. Like, are you somebody that's critical of yourself all the time? And remember, all of these that I'm talking about are tales that you're a judgmental person. But to be honest, I think we're all a judgmental person, like people. I think we're just not perfect people, right? And that's okay. But if you got the word judgmental, like, and you got it and you bring it to the front, I think it brings perspective around the day as you walk through the day going, I've already caught myself like 3 times this morning going, yeah, that's a judgmental thing right there. I'm being judgmental. So it was a great word for me today. So Andrea, I'll turn it to you.
Well, my toes are hurting, Palmer. That wasn't very nice to stomp all over me. So great message. And since my toes were stepped on, what I looked at was how to be less judgmental. And a quote that really brought it home for me was, when I am sharply judgmental of any other person, it's because I sense or see reflected in them some aspect of myself that I don't want to acknowledge. And that's Gabor Mate. And I think about how true that is, where, you see something in somebody else and you're like, oh my gosh, right? Hopefully you don't say it like that, but maybe you do. But really, if you looked in the mirror, you probably have that in you. You just don't want to admit it. I just don't want to admit it, right? Maddie doesn't want to admit it either. So how do we stop? How are we less judgmental when we are just steeped in judgment every single day? So what I found was something called the dual method. So it's going to kind of go, what is that called? Like an acronym, like DUAL. So we're going to start with D. And the first one is don't pass judgment, which we're like, okay, duh, like obviously that's what we're trying to do. But how do you do that? Is to do that pause where you just really pay attention throughout your day, where, I don't know, I'm going to, Chase doesn't pick up his dishes in the morning and I judge him for that, poor kid. But just take a moment to notice it. Oh, he didn't pick up those dishes and I'm feeling judgmental, right? So just take that moment just to pause and see where you're doing it, because you got to notice it before you can actually stop it. And once you're more aware and you can feel that judgmentalness, is that a word? Then you can move on to the next step, which is you. And that's understand. So instead of judging somebody by what they've done or what they look like, or, whatever you're seeing, try to understand that human. So, they say, don't judge somebody until you've walked a mile in their shoes, but actually try to figure it out. Look at their background, look at where they live. Look at maybe their family structure, talk to them a little bit and find their backstory, because every single one of us has it. And so, maybe they do business differently than I do. Well, because they have all this experience that led them there. Maybe they're even right. Maybe I need to learn from it. So do your best just to understand each person. And once you understand them, you can move on to A, which is to accept them, right? They are different than me. I can accept it, right? I understand it now. I accept it. And I am okay with them without ever wanting them to change, right? They have a different background. They have a different upbringing. They have a different history, different experience, different education. And I'm fine with it because that's what brought them where they are. And I am going to accept them the way that they are without wanting them to change it. And sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. The world is what it is, right? Like there's so little that we actually have control over. And it kind of lies right here, not anywhere out there. So the more that we can accept, the more, the happier that we're going to be. And then lastly, once we accept somebody, we can love them. So let's go love. And I'm listening to a book right now, and it was talking about that it's really hard to hate somebody up close, right? We can hate abstract. We can hate in the difference or in the distance, but when we pull people close, we work to understand them, we work to accept them, well, then it's a whole lot harder to hate and a whole lot easier to love. And once we've accepted them for who they are, we don't even have to know them. We can love them. Like who says this? It might have been Coach that says, and it might even be a quote, but it's like, if we can hate somebody just for existing, well, we can absolutely love them just for existing as well. So, when we look at somebody and we look at how we're going to love them, that love might be a little bit limited because we don't know that much about them just yet, but you can absolutely affect yourself and you can affect them just by choosing to love them. It can change the course of your life, and it absolutely can change the course of their life. So just take that action to choose to love people, understand them, accept them, and then love them. Won't be overnight, but it absolutely can be life-changing.
All right, Andrea, great message. Great message. And what was the audio? What was the audio you're listening to?
I'm listening to Brene Brown, Into the Wilderness.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do this morning.
Let's give away the book. I don't know how to give away the audio.
It's okay. It's okay. They're going to message you and we're going to figure that out. So we're going to figure out a way to get you this book on audio or the book or something. And so in the chats, I want you to, let's pick a winner and we'll figure out a way to get it to you. Okay. You just got to message Andrea. So no judge is what we're going to put in the chats in the comment. Like, no judge. I am not judging today. Okay. No, I love it. Like, I'm going to go through the day not being judged. I'm going to pop myself in if I have to. So, all right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Andrea, who's our winner today? No judge.
No judge. We've got Will Garson today.
Will.
Congratulations, Will.
Way to go, buddy. Awesome. Hey, Will, he's fired up. I love it. Hey, reach out to Andrea, Will, and we'll get you a copy of the book or we'll get you the audio. If you do audio, if you don't do audio, this might be a great time to start. So guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Listen, let's do something today if we can, like just a task, an action item. Find one person today and give them a shout out. Tell them you love them. Tell them you care about them because they're in your life. Okay. You guys have a great Thursday. We'll see you back tomorrow. Finish up the week. Love you guys.